This is the hottest take I've ever seen in my life. Could you imagine being such a simp for communist Cuba that you would make up such an outlandish claim? Words cannot describe how stupid this is. And if anybody believed it, I'm sorry that they have your family at gunpoint. Because this is the only way to explain this shit. Venezuelan socialist leader. Cuba protests are actually Euro Cup celebrations. Fucking what? Do you think they even have, let's just say, do they even have the ability to watch the Euro Cup? Do you think that the riots and the protests over in England would have been more ferocious, considering they were the team that lost? Or, that really strong connection between Italy and Cuba, they just felt like they needed to celebrate for like a week long. It's amazing what these dictators can get away with. Diosdado Cabello, the head of Venezuela's ruling Socialist Party, stated during a press conference this week that the protests in Cuba do not exist. Oh, okay, cool. We didn't just watch a video where people are actually protesting in the streets. We didn't have any pictures of it coming out of burnt out vehicles and overturned cars, 57 people missing, 1 person dead. More information's coming out by the minute. But yeah, no, they don't exist. And the footage of them widely broadcast throughout the international media is, in reality, Italian fans celebrating the nation's Euro Cup victory. I didn't know. It's just off. Oh, you guys can kind of see it there, right there. People just lining the streets, all of them just decked out in Italian garb and really celebrating their Spanish heritage. Cabello is one of Venezuela's most powerful socialist leader and widely believed to be the head of the cartel de los Soles. Oh, that's why he can get away with this stuff. A multinational cocaine trafficking syndicate. He also hosts the state television propaganda show Con el Mazo Dando, hitting with the mallet. Otherwise, you get the sickle. Cuban people began nationwide street protesting on Sunday, demanding an end to the communist regime. No, they were just celebrating sports ball halfway across the world. Not the dumbest thing I've seen, but definitely the most hilarious, okay? Because this is the dumbest, okay? This was from a couple days ago, and Fauci said that I can't believe people are still taking him seriously. I can't believe people don't just invite him onto their show and then just laugh until he disconnects from the Zoom call. Because this guy's a fraud of the highest order. Why would anybody be taking his word seriously? Oh, mostly because he probably still has. I think it's undoubtable at this point. There's no probably to it. He has the undivided attention of the Biden administration, and he ends up directing policy. Children over 3 years old, instead of getting the jab, you should just be wearing masks all the time. Until what? You're old enough to get the jab? We're just going to try to keep this fucking shit rolling for that long? Where are your receipts on this one, stupid? Like it says in the byline, we're going to make low-risk children suffer to protect unvaccinated adults. Yeah, exactly. That's the entire thing, right? Because what's the average age of people dropping dead from the coof? 82? What's the average lifespan of people? 81. Yeah, okay. Really just knocking people off. And incidentally, what was that? The first video where it just, kind of dug in. Oh, yeah, that was Maricopa County reporting, or at least trying to do damage control with their fact-checking. Yeah. 7 people in all of Maricopa County, the 4th largest county in the United States. 7 people dropped dead. Who are those people? I remember much earlier in this pandemic. Oh, I'm sorry, pandemic. My mistake. Everybody who was dropping dead, at least in Alberta when we were checking out the numbers, 70 with a heart condition, a few people from an old age home, somebody who was 93. Like, these are not healthy, these are not young motherfuckers, but yeah, we're going to burden hypothetical children who might get the sniffles from this in order to, I don't know, give grandma another 6 months of life. Even though if you'd ask them, if they're like 80 something, they're like, yeah, you know what, I'll take my chances. Otherwise, I've probably already gotten the poke. What are we doing? What are we doing? This stopped being about the disease a long time ago. White House medical advisor, I can't believe this, Anthony Fauci drew criticism Tuesday after saying children as young as 3 years old should continue to wear masks. Has anybody seen 3 years old kids wearing masks in public? Like, I've seen a couple out at the store, but Lord have mercy, do they draw the looks. Asked by MSNBC's Andrea Mitchell about the spread of the Delta variant of the virus and what it means for unvaccinated minors, Fauci said they and their parents should follow federal health advice, which is Fauci, because in his opinion, he is the science. In its guidelines, for safely opening K-12 schools in the fall, the Center for Disease Control, I don't care, masks should be worn indoors by all individuals aged 2 and older who are not fully vaccinated. Oh, okay, so he just, tried to throw us a free one? Give those kids a free year? But how many kids are going to school that are 3 or 4 years old? Like, doesn't kindergarten start in the age of 5? Like, maybe preschool for 4 years old, but 3? But 3? Are you trying to extrapolate out K-12 students and try to conflate that with daycare centers? You fucking creep. Unvaccinated children of a certain age greater than 2 years old should be wearing masks, Fauci said. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Ooh, that's a big one. Shouldn't have said that throwaway line. That's the way to protect them from getting infected, because if they do, they can spread the infection to someone else. Where's your receipts? Where's your receipts? You keep saying this, and all we see are different numbers from different studies, okay? So at best, it's disputed. But at worst, you're still an authoritarian. Fauci has routinely advocated for strict health measures throughout the pandemic. Yeah, just jog outside. I wear 9 masks at all times. I don't even notice. Because he's on one of those fucking rascal scooters, because the cunt is like 80 fucking years old and still pulling in a $400 and some odd $1,000 paycheck. That's good work if you can get it, I suppose. But yeah, a lot of people got upset by that claim, and rightly so. I just would really like it if somebody would take actions on this, like just kindly shuffle this old man just off stage and just let him go back to his bathhouses where he was doing all of that research for the AIDS virus. But again, we're ramping up here, okay? Cuba was just celebrating the Euro 2020 Cup. Fauci thinks that toddlers need to be wearing masks forever, and the White House is flagging posts for Facebook to be taken down for misinformation. I said in the previous video, I really hope we don't get to a point where government planning takes over every aspect of life, from what you have to wear to what you're allowed to say. But I feel like we're already getting there, because we already knew the really close connection between big tech firms and the Biden administration. All you need to do is just look at that pipeline between people who are currently in the White House and people who are currently on boards and in high positions of power at Facebook, Google, Twitter, whatever. Pick whatever you want. They're there. Or they're former heads of Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, what have you, and they're currently in the White House. So this is really something you could talk up to just banter between former colleagues. Like, how do you say this? How do you say this? Biden administration pushes social media companies to combat COVID-19 misinformation. It gets worse. It gets worse. The Surgeon General of the United States is calling on big tech to crack down on so-called COVID-19 misinformation. Not your area of expertise. You can fuck off, pal. In a report released on the same day, the White House acknowledged that it's flagging posts for Facebook. Yes, we will get to that. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy told reporters in Washington that he targeted social media misinformation with his first advisory because it poses an imminent and insidious threat to our nation's health. Just like what? Racism? Just like infrastructure? Considering we're just throwing around words at this point, yeah. I've never been to the doctor and been like, yeah, oh, you're feeling a little ill? Yeah, just make 2 tweets and you'll feel better in the morning. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? In the advisory, Murthy's office says technology platforms can redesign recommendation algorithms. Just openly asking for algorithmic manipulation. How are they allowed to get away with this? And how are you also going to be able to reconcile that, Facebook and Twitter, they're just private companies, when they're clearly acting like state actors at this point? Unbelievable. To avoid amplifying misinformation. What is misinformation? Whatever we say it is, because they're the ones who are flagging it. Hire more people to police content and boost messaging from trusted messengers and subject matter experts. Or just tell their parents if they're 6 years old and they're too stupid to figure out what is an obvious ploy, what is somebody asking some questions, and some people actually figuring out the truth for themselves. Misinformation is defined by health officials as information that is false. That used to just be called a lie, but just like everything else nowadays, it gets needlessly complicated, inaccurate, or misleading according to the best available evidence. A falsehood, a distraction, Biden's campaign slogan. Like, officials worry that misinformation under COVID-19 vaccines and other COVID-19 topics are undercutting Freudian slip. The U.S. responds to the pandemic and preventing some Americans from getting the vaccine. No, some people are just healthy, take good care of themselves, might have already been infected by it, and think that, you know what, this whole natural immunity thing, yeah, it's something I want to take a look at. This is the same crowd that thinks that, a bundle of cells with a heartbeat and brain activity isn't life, and they have the right to just stick a Hoover in there and then suck it out. But then, at the same time, they also need you to take that jab in the arm, no questions asked. These people aren't rational. Why are we trying to rationalize this? As Surgeon General, my job is to help people stay safe and healthy and without limiting the spread of health misinformation. No, you're supposed to be slapping those stupid stickers on cartons of cigarettes. But whatever, dude. American lives are at risk. Whose? Where? Can you point to a group? Who's most affected? From the tech and social media companies who must do more to address the spread of spread on their platforms, to all of us identifying and avoiding sharing misinformation. Oh my God, just avoid wrong think. We'll tell you what right think is, and just get your update and plug in, and then you can run with the same NPC programming for the rest of the month. Don't worry, we got you covered on this one. Let's get into what Psaki had to say. She told reporters at the White House that Biden administration is working on flagging problematic posts for Facebook that spread disinformation. It's so nice with all of these crises that the Biden administration has to deal with right now that they have time just in their day-to-day goings on that they can flag social media posts. How wonderful. They at least admitted that they're doing it on Facebook, but like, come on, is it that much of a stretch to think that they aren't doing it for YouTube? They aren't doing it for Twitter as well? Like, come on. Administration officials have also directly communicated proposals to social media platforms, including Facebook. Something else that we've seen with Fauci's emails, that he was in close contact with Mark Zuckerberg, that he was talking with Twitter, he was also talking with other diplomats out there. Why does anybody take him seriously? Why does he continue to get a platform? And why can officials like the Surgeon General say that my job isn't about, advocating for public health, it's about telling you what you should and shouldn't think? And why is the government meddling with a private business? Does that make it not a private business anymore? Would that mean that they would have to adhere to the rules and the regulations of the United States Constitution, that free speech would be for all? Weird. Just a little food for thought, I suppose. With that said, guys, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.